Hello, and welcome to another Friday Night Scary Stories. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne, who died July 22nd, 2025. John Michael Ozzy Osbourne was an English singer, songwriter, and media personality. And if you don't know him, he was in the heavy metal band Black Sabbath. Tonight's story is a tribute tale. It's called The Swamp Howls for Ozzy. The tour bus rumbled through the night, chewing up miles of forgotten highway somewhere deep in the American South. Moonlight leaked through the thick clouds, and mist curled over the two-lane road like fingers reaching out from the past. Inside the bus, Ozzy Osbourne sat in the back lounge, slouched on his usual throne. A glass of something stiff in his hand, the band cracking jokes and flicking ashes into an old skull-shaped ashtray. They were headed to a private gig for a rich fan in some nowhere town no one ever heard of. That kind of place that didn't show up on the GPS, the kind of place that shouldn't exist. The road curved sharply, slicing between an endless wall of blackened pine trees on one side and a stagnant, moonlit swamp on the other. The tour bus manager muffled something about bad omens, just as the rear tire gave a thunderous bang and the whole bus lurched sideways. The driver cursed while pulling the bus to a stop on the shoulder. Ozzy blinked at the sudden stillness, the silence outside wrapping around the vehicle like a burial shroud. "Well, that ain't good," said Jesus, peering out. The driver went out to change the flat. As he worked, bent over in the dim orange beam of a flashlight, a sound broke the stillness. Shh! A dragging, wet shuffle sound. Low, gargling, something like a whisper, filtered through a mouth filled with mud and death. Ozzy and the band stepped out, squinting into the fog that drifted in low from the swamp. "What the bloody hell was that?" he said. The band gathered behind him. The bush at the edge of the swamp rustled. Not a bird, not a breeze, something else, something watching. "Maybe it's an animal," suggested the drummer, but they all knew it wasn't. Ozzy tilted his head. "Nah, there's something in there, something wrong." The flashlight beam swept the reeds and brumble. Then they saw it. A pale face slick with muck, hollow, lidless eyes that glowed with a green light. Hair like lakeweed, lips twisted in a smile way too far. It didn't walk. It hovered. It dripped. Steam hissed off its body where it touched the air. A spirit? A wrath? Something dredged up from the bottom of time, called forth by the dark chords of forgotten songs. The swamp spirit had come, and it knew Ozzy's name. The band stood motionless, the fog thickening around their feet. The air turned damp and heavy, like breathing through wet cloth. The pale figure was gone, not vanished, retreated, pulled back into the reeds without a sound. "Did anyone else see that?" Tony asked, his voice quieter than usual. "I saw it," Ozzy says, "but I don't know what I saw." The driver, now pale as the moon, dropped the tire iron. "We shouldn't be here. This road, it's cursed, man. Locals say no one drives it after dark." Ozzy turns to him. "You're telling me that now?" Just then, a deep, melodic croak echoed from the swamp. Not from any frog. Then silence again. "We should just go," Jesus said, "Forget the gig. I don't like this." But something strange was happening. The fog was thicker now, too thick. The trees were fading behind it, like they were being erased. The headlights of the bus barely lit more than a few feet ahead, and then the engine died. "Battery's gone," the driver said. "Totally drained." Ozzy frowned. "How's that possible? We just got a flat." And then they heard a sound, a melody. Soft, floating from the swamp. Not music, not quite, but it felt like music. Something between a lullaby and a warning. Minor chords, distended, like a Sabbath wreath played underwater. "That doesn't sound like wind," Bill said. Ozzy steps closer to the edge of the swamp. The trees there leaned in strange directions, and the mist withered like it was breathing. He stared into it, his heart thickening fast. And then he saw it, standing just beyond the tree line, tall, half shrouded in fog. Her eyes gleamed, and her mouth didn't move, but Ozzy heard her voice. "You sang the song, the old song, the one that wakes things up." Ozzy's blood ran cold. "You called me?" And then she vanished, leaving only ripples in the air, like heat waves over swamp water. Ozzy starts backing away, face pale, as he gets back to the others. "What was it?" Bill asked. "I don't know," Ozzy whispered. "But she knows me, and she likes the music." Just then the headlights flickered back on, and the engine rumbled to life. The flat tire was gone, fixed. No one spoke a word. Not a soul said a word as they boarded the bus. Ozzy looked back once, just as they pulled away, and for a moment, in the rearview mirror, he saw her again, watching, smiling, humming a tune. Thanks for watching another Friday night spooky campfire story. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I'll leave a link for last week's story in the description below. If you like this kind of stuff, there's also a playlist of all the Friday night stories. We'll see you again next week.